everyone. Hey! I was like, oh no, please don't let this be like a glitch.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you
Did you
so
get
very
a
much.
haircut, Dave?
I did last
Because
week.
you're like
Thanks
in
for
my
noticing.
kingdom over there. I'm
You,
making you blush.
you're the best.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I am doing great. So I am so excited. So for those of you that have not seen before, so Dave actually invited me to his podcast. What's the name of your podcast, Dave? Say it again.
The Dave Glaser podcast.
The Dave,
Yep.
Dave Glaser podcast. And we had such a great podcast. I loved it. I thought we had some really great, meaningful conversation. And in knowing that I was going to do this 6-week series, the first person I thought was like, I've got to get Dave on because I love Dave's information. If you do not follow Dave on Instagram, follow him. If you do not follow Dave on TikTok, follow him. Dave has some of the greatest insights about dating and advice, and he's a dating coach, and he is, I think, a fitness coach as well. Listen, he's just a great guy. So, not that I'm going to toot his horn, but before we even get started, anyone who lives in Denver, Dave is available. So.
Thanks, Karen. Thank you so
You
much.
know I'm plugging away, Dave, because if you'd be in Miami, we'd be out somewhere today.
Would we be doing this live in person? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, yes. Over some drinks somewhere. All right, Dave, so let's get started. Let's talk about, you are a modern dating coach.
That's right.
So I have here, because I do my research, I have here, what is the definition of modern dating?
Oh, it's savage out there, Karen. Not gonna lie.
Beyond savage.
But what I like to classify as modern dating is the invention of text messaging and social media and dating apps all on your smartphone that really kind of confuse what dating is all about. Like, I tend to get mixed signals because of text messaging and social media and dating apps. So I like to be really clear and intentional when it comes to dating myself.
Yes. Yes, we talked about that, about dating with intention. Especially, I think over 40 is absolutely, we're not in our 20s. We're not here to play. We have intentions. I mean, some of us are here to play, I guess, not myself. I know you're not. You're a person also that dates with intention. So this is the definition that I got of modern dating. Okay.
Let me have it.
So let's say so people understand the difference. Traditional dating means that you're actually meeting real people in real life. It's a better way to get to know someone and build a relationship. It's a better way to get connected and offers a chance to get to know someone in person before deciding if you're interested in them. So it's a traditional dating, kind of probably like how we dated in our 20s and some of us in our early 30s. It's more of the in real life, someone is saying, yes, not with the play. And then the definition that they're saying is modern dating, which is what you said, is moving towards more dating apps. And it is an immediate gratification or rejection in many ways. And it oftentimes skips the normal courtship of getting to know each other.
Yeah, everybody seems to be in a hurry these days. I'm not sure what that's all about.
I mean, what is up with like first date? Bam, they want to lay it all on the table. Second date, they're professing their love to you, and no one is wanting to get to know each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I came across that a lot a few years ago after a couple of relationships ended, longer term relationships. And I was really looking for a lot of clarification when it came to what dating was going to be like in the next phase of my life. Single, business owner. My daughter was 15 or 16 at the time. So I had a lot of things to keep in mind when it came to dating. So I really wanted to understand myself better as I show up in dating because I wasn't getting great response in going after what I wanted. So to answer your question specifically, when I hear that people want to go so fast after the first and the second date, I hear a lot about attachment in there. Somebody who has experienced a lot of, myself included, a lot of anxiety or a lot of avoidance around dating. And that's what it feels like to me on a first date when somebody's like, I'm all in. Let's define this. Let's make it clear. Let's get the titles out of the way. And then the second date, you were talking about the phenomenon of love bombing,
Oh,
which which when I heard you say it, professing their love on a second date, that
Yeah.
to me feels really manipulative in nature of like, I'm going to give this to you too soon to get something in return. So what is it that people are looking for in return when they give away their love so freely?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Someone is saying here, I know, I love how the people interact. So we're going to cut into what we're talking to. Someone, Eggert Suit says, I think it's because everyone is moving quickly. So if someone wants to take it slow, the person you're talking to is talking to three other people and one of them will be all in with them. Okay, so
Mm,
yes, Eggert Suit, I am going to tell you, absolutely. I am a person that when I date with intention, but I am not dating just one guy. I am going to be dating what I call quantum dating. And it doesn't mean, I talked a little about this last week. I don't know if you're like this, Dave, but doesn't mean I'm intimate with them. It doesn't mean that I'm physical with them. I'm getting to know them. We're going on dates and I will have three in rotation, two in rotation, three in rotation until I find the proper person. Someone said to me, which was a great quote today, actually, someone said to me, I was talking about this, what we were going to do this live. And she said to me, why, if I'm looking for a job, why am I only going to put in one application and hope that that's the one that's going to pan out for me? He said, there's
hmm
nothing wrong with it. You're not misleading them. I don't mislead them. If they ask me, I absolutely say, yes, I am dating others. I do find, at least in my situation, they get a little more desperate. Like, I want to be, no, I want you to commit to me. I want you to commit to me. Well, prove yourself to me, and I should have to prove myself to you. It goes both ways. So, I mean, I don't know if you agree with me on that, or do you put your eggs in one basket and hope for the best?
Mm. I love your analogy about going on a job interview because options are a great thing when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to how we want to approach our lives and making decisions that are going to be the best fit for us.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right, like going on multiple job interviews before you actually say yes to the best offer is a really good analogy when it comes to dating.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you called it quantum dating, but I approach it more of like an essentialist point of view,
Mm-hmm.
where if I have too many choices, I can't make a choice at all. That's called the paradox of choice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going to, much like you described, actually set up 2 or 3 dates in a
Mm-hmm.
2 week span, so
Mm-hmm.
that I can meet multiple people, so that when my relationship programming and their relationship programming come together in person, and we get to see those responses of, do they get a little bit too fast too soon, or do they pull back and pull away from maybe my follow-up text message? I want to know those things and not put all my eggs in one basket,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can see people as they show up authentically and then
Mm-hmm.
make the best choice for me from an authentic values-based place.
Absolutely. And I don't think, and as long as I think it's okay if you're going in, like I won't just date a guy just to date him. Like if I'm not attracted to him, I'm not going, hey, I'm just going to go have dinner or drinks. No, I have to be attracted. I have to be interested. Does that one date lead to two? Does it two lead to three? And exactly, it's dating with intention. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, I mean, at least for myself, I don't recommend just dating to date.
Right,
I say
right.
hi, yes to every date. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of people have to put that in perspective as well. It says Roger. Oh, Roger's great. Roger had some great comments last week. So Roger Marone 25 says, some people put too much pressure on dating. Needs to be relaxed, have integrity, and have fun. Absolutely. You're getting to know each other. You're getting to know the person and their personality. Okay, so let's
Mm-hmm.
move on,
Love
Dave. So
that.
I have some other stuff here. Okay, so as we said, okay, so it says modern courtship is different from traditional, because now courtship, people are thinking, can take place without personal contact.
Mm.
That it can be just virtual and instant messaging and just texting. And that, for me personally, I want to know your opinion, because I mean, you're the relationship expert here, the dating coach. But for me, it's an absolutely no. If I have met the person, because I meet them in real life, and I have gone on the dating apps. So we're talking about dating apps here, modern dating. We go back and forth a few messages. If we don't get off that dating app, if they don't want to continue the conversation, after a few back and forths, I kind of lose interest. Like, I'm not here to be a pen pal. What's your interest in this? So, it's either, do you want to make plans to meet? Do you want to have a conversation on the phone? Do you want to talk, via FaceTime and before we go have a date? I'm not into pen pals. What's your thoughts? Some people, I have friends who said, I had a relationship with him. And I was like, did you meet up with him? Oh
Right.
no, we dated, we texted the whole time. That's not dating, girl. That's
Mm-hmm.
him maybe him or her sitting next to their partner, having a whole relationship behind their back on the phone.
I hope not.
I
Uh,
know.
yeah, much of what you said resonates with me, as in, like, dating apps are a
Mhm.
tool to introduce yourself, meet people that you wouldn't normally meet, maybe in your circle of, it's called a circle of influence, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Friends, family members, coworkers, that people before the advent of social media and dating apps and text messages, that's how they met people. And what I heard you describing is that pen pal situation.
Yeah.
Like you, I want to take it from meeting on the app,
Hmm.
uh, 3 or 4 messages back and forth. And if we're getting, to me, communication is very important. So if I'm receiving communication in a hit the ball across the net, and I receive the ball back and it hits it back and forth a few times, I'll take it to the next step of, like, what's your schedule like this weekend? Would you like to meet up for coffee? I'm a non-drinker, so I like to keep things, walk in the park, or coffee, or let's go get ice cream or something like that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about, so I want to talk about, we're going to go into, because I know something that you are doing with your life right now that I totally want to discuss, because I may be jumping on your bandwagon. But before we get there, I'm going to tell you a quote someone wrote. Someone sent to me today a quote, okay? And they said to me, which I was like, wow, that's really sad that this is what's being thought of. So a friend told me online dating and modern dating now is like going to the dump and trying to find the least broken thing. Like, what do you
Hmm.
hear from that when someone says that?
I hear a lot of negativity, actually. I hear a
Hmm.
lot of pessimism, and I really do like to approach modern dating with a brand new mindset.
Hmm.
If my mindset is focused on what I don't want to find, or the negativity, well,
Hmm.
then that's essentially what I'm going to attract to myself.
Yeah.
And I've oftentimes thought about my approach to sharing on TikTok and Instagram, of it's generally from a negative place. And I'm wondering, in the next evolution of my intentional dating, is if I change my mindset, even what I put out on social media as a joke,
Hmm.
what would that do for attracting an aligned partner for me?
Absolutely, because it's what you put out there in the universe. Absolutely. So, we know some of the dating apps. So, I mean, some of the people who maybe I just want to throw out some names. Maybe you tell me what you think of them. Okay. This is what I've gotten from them. For the best serious relationships, they're saying eHarmony.
Okay.
Tell me yes or no if you agree or you have no comment.
I've personally never tried it. However,
Have I? Neither have I. That,
what I do recall is that there's a principle of investment behind dating apps. Like,
mm-hmm,
eHarmony and Match are known to be a little bit more expensive, and I think that people who are willing to spend that kind of money investing into their relationship and their dating experience
mm-hmm.
might actually be a little bit more intentional in the process. So I'm not going to discount it, since I've never used it, but
Okay.
that's what I do know about the app.
And that's what I say for best for mature daters was Match. It says so
Okay.
you're on point there. It says for best meetups and hookup Tinders. I'm not even gonna go there because that's kind of like Tinder swindler. We're not even gonna go on talk about Tinder. It says for best quality interactions Hinge. I don't know if you've been on Hinge. Uh,
Hinges has always been my preferred dating app.
mm-hmm.
It definitely does bring a more authentic approach to the dating app process, because you don't necessarily have to pay to see your matches or people who are interested in you. So it does give you a couple of options that you can view their profile because they've liked your profile. And I like to save time when I'm on the dating app. And
Okay.
that part of the feature has really saved me time.
Yeah.
They have made a lot of adjustments in their sorting process of
Mm-hmm.
things that you can get specific about. Like, they used to have a very specific family plan. Like,
Okay.
hey, I have children, but I don't want more.
Yeah.
And they recently removed that, and I was disappointed, because I'm no longer being as forthcoming or transparent in my profile as I build it that I
Okay.
was in the past. And so I just really like to be very clear that I'm not looking for more children in the future,
Yeah.
and that's That's one change about Hinge that I'm not a big fan of.
Okay. See, like for me, Hinge, my friends swear by it. For me, Hinge has been the worst. I have found like the
Really?
barrel of Hinge. I'm like,
Tell,
where are you
tell me
girls
more
find?
about tell me more about your experience on Hinge.
Just Hinge has been, I've tried Bumble, Hinge, and Raya. And Hinge to me has been bottom of the barrel. I I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, I went on one date. I think the guy came high. It was like, wow. I really just like wanted to get up and leave. And I'm such a proper person. I just like sat there, didn't
Hmm.
drink. And which that's a boundary I should have been. That's a difference on a different
Sure.
day of this series, but I should have
Sure.
just left. But I've always found bad of them a barrel. I don't know. I haven't had much luck with Hinge. That's, my friend swears by it. Another friend swears by it. One in New York, one here. So I'm like, well, you girls, high five to you. Um, and how about Bumble? That's where I've had the best luck actually is Bumble. They haven't turned into relationships, but I've had at least good dates.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, Bumble for me is a curious app. With with the women needing to make the first move in a heterosexual relationship, I'm
Hmm.
not sure what it is about same sex couples on Bumble. I'll
Hmm.
just speak to it from my experience. What I hear when I coach clients through the Bumble process is they're like, these men don't take the lead, they don't take initiative. And that's what some women are looking for. And
Hmm.
that's the one drawback to, let's say, switching of the polarity
Hmm.
when it comes to traditional relationship roles for the heterosexual relationships.
Yes, and I've had that conversations with my friends about Bumble, and I tell them that's never happened to me. Why do you guys take the lead? It's just a matter of saying a hello and maybe a comment on, I love the color shirt you're wearing, and let them take the conversation from there. And if they can't, you know, like you said, the polarity, and they don't take the lead on that conversation, then that's not my match.
Yeah, it's definitely
So
part of the sorting process. I hear
I
you
see
there.
how they also answer, and I say,
Hmm.
you have to kind of let the masculine energy take over and let yourself be the feminine energy and the polarity. So I think also it's how and you may approach it. So that's the conversation I've had with my girlfriends.
Right.
Okay, so this is what I want to know. Oh, one more thing I do want to ask from you. Oh no, we went over that. I was going to say the free apps. Someone asked me, they sent me a question. Do free apps, does it seem like there's less quality people on free apps versus the ones that pay because they're putting a little more investment in it?
Yeah, definitely. I think that a free app, say like Tinder, is really
Hmm.
going to attract instant gratification. Like the hookup culture is
Hmm.
present and prevalent on Tinder. I hear a lot of horror stories around that app, and so it's just not the right fit for me as I
Yeah,
move forward in intentional and modern dating.
absolutely. I've never used it. So, and actually, let's now talk about, I want to now talk about someone, because actually someone says here, um, God, I'm so bad with names. Rema Words says, I would like it to happen organically, meeting someone through friends or out and about doing things I enjoy. So that has happened to me at restaurants, in grocery aisles, when I've gone out with friends for a happy hour, getting off an elevator. I have met people that way. So it's not like I'm just with the dating apps, but I know you, my friend, have now taken it organically and taken yourself off dating apps, and you are kind of asking you've asked the community, hey, is there anyone you might be able to introduce me to? You've asked friends, you're getting more out and about. How is that going for you? How are you finding it different? And I'm gonna sit here with my popcorn. I want to know
Oh,
what.
right, right. I definitely feel as if dating will include risks no matter what way you approach it.
Yes.
Risks for feeling vulnerable, risks for showing up authentically, and risks of facing our fears too.
Hmm.
And so when I posted that first video asking the community on TikTok for who do you know that would be like the right fit for me, and everyone on that community that has been growing on TikTok, that's how you and I met.
Yeah.
So they're super supportive and they want what's best for me. They want to see me win. So I'm not going to lie, there were a lot of positive feedback
Uh-huh.
here through Instagram, which is how I ask people to reach out.
Okay.
TikTok's Messenger is not as easy to use as Instagram here,
Yes.
but what I found is that the abundance came back to that paradox of choice for me. Is there were so many messages to respond back to that it took me a long time, and I needed to meet people where they were at when they were reaching out to me. And I did take about 2 weeks to process and sort through who reached out and who appeared to be the best fit for me. And it has resulted in some dates. And I'm pretty excited about the positive response that I received on TikTok and here on Instagram.
So you are done for now with dating apps. You're going at it organically.
Yes, and organically through the community that I know via social media. So we're playing very fast and loose with that term organic.
Yeah.
Why I went to TikTok is because, yes, the following grew, the community grew, and I felt connected there. But I also understand that if somebody is going to refer somebody to me, they're going to have to at least like my TikTok videos and my sense of humor and my approach to life. And I feel as if I show up most authentically on TikTok if I were going to use the community from social media to meet new people.
Absolutely, yes. And I mean, I think listen, I may just do a Dave and I just may do the same thing myself. So, I think it's absolutely a great idea. I am so invested in you, Dave. Like I want Dave to win. I want to see the TikTok that Dave's like, here's my girl after like 3 or 4 months. And I'll be like, yes, he did it. So
I thank you so very much for the support. That's so much fun. I love one of my favorite memes that's circling around the internet and social media is like this person talking about their husband reveal being on the day of their wedding. Like nobody's going to meet this person until the actual day of the wedding. And I'm excited for what's coming. I'm excited for the dates that I've had and have set up for the future. And I'm not even considering the reveal, but in my my non-conventional way, I think it'd be a lot of fun to invite people along on this journey of like, how did this work out for Dave? Because
absolutely, Dave. I'm sitting here invested. I want to know. At least DM me. But yes, no. So, I mean, I think that's fantastic that you're like, and even though you're a modern dating coach, I'm putting this on pause, so it's great. I do have a question for you. Within, because you have your circle of guy friends as well. This is another question I was asked and actually happened to me. Have you guys, like you and a friend, by accident, matched up with the same girl?
Not at the same time, I don't believe. There are some times when I'll get together with guy friends and I'll, like in the past, I was on dating apps and I asked them, I'm like, hey, let's just make sure there's no crossover here.
Yeah.
And it's happened a few years apart where I dated somebody for a month 5 years ago, and now a friend of mine is seeing that person, and I couldn't be happier for what is going to happen for them. It's none of my business, right? So like I step back, I don't even ask questions about it. It's simply just like, I'm rooting for my buddy. And then it's curious that you asked me this because I had a client in the past. She was sharing with me, this guy, these are the challenges in the relationship. Met his family. It's been 7 months. He's this in this town, and she was very specific. And then a few days later, I was speaking to another client, and she was telling me the same kind of very familiar description of a man. And I thought to myself, I'm like, do I share with them that I think it's the same person? and it turns out that it was the same person that these two. I was the go-between. I was the facilitator, the mediator. And it turns out that it was the same person. He wasn't acting in integrity. I shared it once I confirmed it, and they both went on to, one's married now. She's expecting her first baby with a different person. And the other one was engaged. And because I led with my values and I made sure that I was correct in this scenario, they both went on to live so much better lives by putting this person who was not authentic and living in integrity or aligned with his values behind them.
Absolutely. And I do ask that because part of this series, I have promised my followers that I do share a little juicy of my life. And actually, that is just what happened to me. I had been dating one person, and we were going into the third month, and all of a sudden it went south because I didn't believe, I'm just going to put it mildly, a little fanatically political.
Oh, okay.
And so we know kind of what party that belongs to. And that didn't come out until almost the third month of the
Mm-hmm.
fanatical, cult like. And I was like, I can't feel, this is not a person of integrity. This is not good. So I had to end things. I was like, this is not the way I want to be. And I had not spoken to a friend in quite a while. And out of the blue, my friend, which is a female, reaches out to me. We start talking, blah, blah, blah. And start having a conversation. She's like, oh, I just had a date yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Happens to be that guy.
Okay.
And she says to me, oh, but whatever. We start talking. There's a little bit something wrong. But she goes, I kind of reached out to you because he said that he was dating a reality star.
Mm.
Except he said X, Y, Z. And she's like, how many live in Miami?
Right.
She kind of like put two and two together, reached out, happened to be the same man. Completely, all of those plans that we made within 3 months, he made to her in 2 hours on a first date.
Oh.
He just plugged it into her. Like all the plans we had planned for the next, up until the summer, everything, the next 4 months. And there was just something wrong I didn't find. And then when he had said a really bad comment about the woman he was dating, which was me, which was a complete false lie, I was like, what? Are you kidding me? That's not anything that I had said, but I guess he needed a reason to say. I said, why did he even bring me up? Anyways, long story short, we put two and two together. She's like, oh, heck no, I'm blocking him, dismiss, no second date, blah, blah, blah. And we ended up having an amazing girls' night Sunday, catching up. And now we've got our backs like, hey, this is the one I got. Did you get that? Did you get this one?
Yeah.
So
the code is a real thing.
That's my juicy to my followers for this week. So he's out the door, out of rotation. Someone's got to fill in that place.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but it sounds like you dodged a bullet.
Oh, huge bullet. And it kind of feels good that, everything happens for a reason. Why, after all these months that I haven't spoken to my friend, she reached out, she kind of like put two and two together, kind of said, let me just reach out. Is it her?
Yeah.
Got the backstory. So that's my juicy of the week of this series, but it's definitely dodging bullets. And, I think the key here for the people who are going to be dating online is your gut. You got to go with your gut. You really do. If there's something not right, like there was something not right that she was feeling, you got to investigate or ask or let go. Or, in the world of internet, there's so much stuff you can find out about people. So,
yeah.
And we're all Googling after that first date.
Yeah, this week's podcast episode, our guest shared a story similar, and she used a helpful resource called Ben Verified.
Oh.
Just a name and a number. You can actually look a person up, criminal records, etc. It's a pretty affordable monthly membership if you're out there actively dating. That's something that I recommend.
Absolutely, I love it. All right, Dave, we are here. I loved this. This session. I would love to continue going. I know your time is so valuable, but I do want to thank you for joining me. I want to just let everyone know before I ask you where people can find you, so they can find you either on Instagram or TikTok. But next week's session is July 13th, Wednesday. And Ismael Gomez, better known as Save the Messenger, is going to be joining me. And we're going to be discussing relationship boundaries and dating and early in relationships, in the relationship, and how important it is to be established. So join me 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, July 13th, Wednesday. That's my next week's guest. But Dave, tell people where they can find you on TikTok and Instagram and your podcast, because Dave is amazing.
Thank you so much, Karen. I had so much fun talking with you.
Yes.
And if people want to get a hold of me, they can search my name on all social media platforms. That's the best way to get a hold of me. I love TikTok. I just absolutely love creating there and then sharing those TikTok videos here to Instagram. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to direct message me here on Instagram. I'm available within reason, about 24 hours. I'll get back to you if you have a question about modern dating.
Absolutely. Dave, thank you so much. I am rooting for you. I'm fully invested. And we always keep in touch either way.
That's right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Dave, good night. Thank you for joining me. Good night, everyone. See you next week.